Hey friends, this is Adam here, and I am excited to announce for you coffees that we have available for the holiday season. So when you're getting together with friends, family, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever you're looking at, if you just want to enjoy beautiful coffees for yourself, I have two wonderful offers I'm going to put on the table here. First up is the processing table. And so it'll come in a nice box and even a cool coffee processing poster. This is developed by Sucafina and the Center. It's available for download, but you'll get that inside and then a link to it to learn more about processing. But what we have on the table here, I'm going to zoom in and do a cupping just to show you real quick. We have Honduras washed, Honduras honey processed, Honduras natural dry processed, and then Costa Rica Cascara. And so we're going to cup from wet washed to semi-honey to dry natural to the actual coffee pulp and husk. So here we have a beautiful table. We're gonna dig in. And then next up, stay tuned, I'm going to show you the second box that you can put together or you can buy separate. It's going to be medium dark roast, bold kind of coffees for all those holiday gatherings and just fun to enjoy. Thanks, stay tuned. So like we said, we have our four coffees on the table here: washed, honey, natural, and cascara. So according to the tasting notes, these are all coffees from Sustainable Harvest. And Sustainable Harvest has wonderful coffee boxes you can get. They come in 22 kg, 36 pound boxes. 36 pound boxes, I know that for sure. And their tasting notes specifically on these, I'll share them and then also my own reflections. But all of these are roasted. These three are roasted at a light sample roast level, so you can enjoy the complexities of the coffee and the qualities that are inherent, especially because we're focused on processing. Now, the cascara is dried coffee husk and fruit. It's not roasted, but we're going to go ahead and pour and steep the coffees just like you would with a normal cupping. The washed with their notes is raisin, lychee, and apple. I also get a lot of that apple and just a real nutty sweetness, kind of that classic caramel and sugary. It's a really nice, just classic washed. And it does have this brightness, kind of that lychee, almost a tropical sweetness to it. Now the honey, I really like this honey. With their notes, they have tropical fruit, cherry, marshmallow, and citrus. That marshmallow, you know, marshmallow is a plant, and before it's turned into the marshmallow that you roast over the campfire. But it's just that sugary kind of, almost like a licorice root. You know, there's this sugary, natural, and the tropical fruit is definitely present in this honey. I like this honey a lot. Other honeys, I'm always skeptical about. I usually go for washed or natural, but I'm really happy about this honey. And then the natural coffee. For me, it has that classic winey, natural processed, dry processed, plum, berry, floral, and magnolia flower. Now this cascara, a very nice honey date, kind of a honeyed date. We used to have date tea in China. And so that dry kind of date aspect and mango, tamarind, cranberry, pineapple, those are going to come out when we brew it and when we drink it. Now, if you add your water to it, you are going to get more flavor. Give ourselves 4 minutes here. You're going to get more of the flavor compounds that come out in the aroma. You know, the dry fragrance is unique and the aroma is also unique. This is just a really fun way to let people see not all coffee is the same, and that processing actually is really important. The processing method can really help influence the flavors of the coffee, because all of these are from Honduras. These two are from the same Pacayel. This is El Congolón. you can just feel that transformation, like subtly getting more of that winey fruit, dried fruit aspect as we step through. And that Cascara, I really enjoy this Cascara. It has that honey aspect to it. You know, if like when I'm sick and I want comforting tea, kind of a throat smooth tea for my throat, it just has that honeyed aspect to it. Now I'm gonna let these cool brew for 4 minutes. I'm gonna break the crust, and I've already had these coffees and I've just described what they're like. A really great body, kind of a heavy aftertaste, fruity aspect to this. Like I said, it is a winey coffee. And so it has very much contrast with this washed, which is clean, which is bright. The green apple really starts to pop, a really nice acidity. And this honey is just, this honeyed process is really just a nice, smooth sugar cane. It has that tropical fruit sweetness that comes through, a really nice mellow balance between these two extremes. And the Cascara is just a whole new, brand new experience. Now, I'm going to have some recipes that came from Sustainable Harvest, and I'd love it if you shared others with me, different ways to brew this. I've just brewed it like a tea. I put it in a jar and I put a bunch in the bottom and add my hot water. I drank it for a while. I filled it with water and put it in the refrigerator and drank it the next day. I drank it for a couple days in the refrigerator like that, cold, and it was perfect, chilled. This is the coffee processing kit. It's just a tasting kit for fun. It's not for study. It certainly does complement any of your SCA courses if you're taking Specialty Coffee Association courses, but this is just a fun coffee for you to enjoy, pick up, try some processing, share them with a friend, share them with your family, share them over the holidays, and let me know how you enjoy them. All right, I'll see you in the next one, which is dark, bold, roasted coffees. Right here, we have a dark, medium dark, bold coffee set. For all of you dark roast coffee fans out there, I know you're out there. You can have specialty coffees that are roasted dark. It's okay. It's not a bad word. Go ahead and get yourself a box for your friends, your family, your holiday enjoyment. You are going to get 3, or if you want 6 coffees, and I will be putting together several arrangements. This particular set, and for some time until these are sold out, will be a washed Ethiopian, a natural processed Ethiopian, and a natural processed Robusta Canephora from Vietnam. So 2 Arabica coffees and 1 Robusta coffee. Now that's just an exciting pairing if you're looking at coffee species, and if you're looking at body and bold and roasted character, it is present in these coffees. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them and why you might enjoy them, why I personally enjoy them. Let's jump in. So first off, here we go. We've got our coffees in front of us. And all right. So this first one, I love a dark roasted washed Ethiopian coffee. African coffees, but especially Ethiopia, it just has this like sweet smoke that comes out. You get roasted like dark purple grapes and dark plums. It's kind of like a blueberry pie or a blackberry pie. It just has this dark sweetness to it. Now, the natural process just gets really mellow when it gets dark. And so you get some of those smoky attributes. You still have some fruity attributes, but it's not quite as fruity as the washed. And that's just because the natural processed coffee in general is a little more delicate when you roast it to this level. So this is just a real mellow, smooth, easy, bold coffee. And then this one right here, this Vietnam, this is gonna knock your socks off. We have this earthy, pungent leather, corn malt, kind of Guinness, black, toasty aspect to it. And so that's all I'm gonna say right now. I'm gonna add some water and bring out the aromas and talk about the body, which is really important. When people say bold, it has a lot of meaning. Bold might just be this punch of flavor, like if something is bold, when words on your screen are in bold letters, they jump out at you. And so what is bold? Well, bold can be a number of things. really intense flavors. Sometimes that really intense roast level, which is just much more bold than a lot of light, nuanced specialty roasting styles. And then it's also that caffeine, bitterness, and body, how sticky it is on your tongue. And so all of these are going to have more of that character. Some will be more roasty, some will be more bitter, some will be more mouth feeling and full. All right, dive in. Here we go. All right, we got 4 minutes here. We're going to brew these coffees. Now, if you compare these coffees with the previous set, the processing, that processing set is roasted just about to the end of first crack, which means it's a very light roast. These here are roasted right up to almost beginning second crack. And so it's just a longer roast process, and you're going to see a lot more CO2 bubbling up out of these coffees. Now, CO2 is natural from the chemical changes that are happening in the beans. Freshness will determine the amount of CO2 in a coffee, but roast level is a huge driver of how much foam and bubbling and freshness is coming out of that coffee. So light and dark roast paired next to each other, roasted on the same day, generally you'll see more bubbles and that foamy character on the dark roast. Nice. I'm getting a lot of dark chocolate off of this one here, this Vietnam Robusta. Both of these really full of character. There's this complexity in the aroma. What I don't want to smell is I don't want to smell burn. I don't want to smell carbon. What I'd like to smell is still that complex layered aspect of coffee. And that's when you can tell a good dark roast from a poor dark roast. If it's starting to taste bitter like charcoal or an ashtray, people will call it, that's when it's just been roasted too dark. There we go. All right, 4 minutes on this. So I'm going to break the crust on this. If you're brewing coffee at home in your coffee brewer, or if you have a French press, this is just like the French press. You just brew it for 4 minutes and then you plunge. Just like here, I'm gonna brew for 4 minutes and then break the crust. Yeah, like I said, real dark, complex. It's like a campfire and grapes. You know, it's like eating roasted grapes or something. This natural process. So this is an Aricha, this is a Hambela, both from Ethiopia. It just has a little bit more berry aspect to it, kind of that blackberry, black currant. Yeah, really chocolatey and earthy and pungent. So what I had over here was I had my coffees from the processing. I have this washed coffee, honey, processed coffee, natural dry processed coffee. These are all 3 Honduras coffees, different processing at the farm before shipping out and before I ever roasted them. Now, when you do a coffee cupping, you let the grounds settle and you just enjoy sipping the coffees after they've cooled, right? Or when they're not too hot. This washed coffee definitely has the least body of the 3. It's really important when you can compare processing methods, washed, honey, natural. You can kind of feel how the body changes, how the sweetness changes, how the acidity changes. These are major attributes for coffee quality and scoring. So the acidity is going down, the body is coming up. This one has a real high acidity, low body. We're just kind of right in the middle there with the honey. The acidity is not bad on the natural, in fact. I really like that acidity. It's complex, but the body is, again, just more syrupy, more smooth. You know, we go like from tea-like to syrupy. Now, on these coffees, any coffee that you're cupping, you're never going to stir the grounds. You don't want to agitate it. But on this Cascara tea, I did do that. I just went ahead and I stirred this around. So down here, we have all of this coffee husk, coffee pulp that has settled to the bottom. You know, it just looks like dried fruit, dried raisins, dried date. Once I stirred that, all of the sugars came up. So I tasted it before stirring, and then I stirred it and all of the sugars came up. And this is just really sweet. It's just like this fruity honey tea. I love it. It's fantastic. So this is gonna be a real eye-opener and a crowd pleaser. It's kind of nice in between the cuppings to cleanse your palate with this as well. All right, so those coffees are delicious and getting cool. These coffees right here are ready to be enjoyed. So what happens in the roasting process? One of the reasons people like dark roasted coffees is you're actually roasting away, you're transforming the acids in the coffee. And so this dark roasted coffee is going to be low acid, and there's going to be kind of minimal acid in it. Acid is just kind of what puckers on the side of your mouth. Like if you're eating a lemon or if you bite into something sour, you have this, you know, this real quick reaction. I'm sure you make a face and sound just like that when you bite into something sour. And dark roasted coffee likes to float. But people like that, especially if you're blending it with, you know, you're going to put milk in it, milk and sugar. The lactose acidity of milk, you don't want to mix too much acidity with light roasted coffee. That's acidic with fruit acid, and then you have coffee, milk acid with lactose. You want to kind of keep your acids straight. That's really nice. It's getting cold outside, and I really like a dark roasted, washed Ethiopian coffee. Yeah, that just has a real mellow smoothness. This kind of has a more bold character to it. Both of them, again, really nice for the dark roast. Wow, you talk about body, you talk about character and pungency. That coffee right there, that Vietnamese Robusta, it's a winey natural process. So very, it's intentionally more of that natural, dry, fermented character. But it has a nice fruity aspect to it amid the malt and grain and pungency. All right, so this is our dark roast. Pick up one of these kits and enjoy them, share them with friends and family. These coffees are extremely limited, so as soon as they're roasted out, I don't know, we'll have to find some new ones. The others from Sustainable Harvest, the Honduras process, from wash to honey to natural to cascara. I have a little bit more of that, but pick those up and can't wait to continue the conversation, learning about coffee, and most importantly, just sharing good coffee and good time with your friends. Thank you for watching to the end. I'm thankful for you. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas whenever you're watching this. And reply back. I reply to every comment if it's a good one. Thanks.